All right, hip shooting up on a deadlift is a very common issue. Most people have dealt with it. Most people can identify it. The hip shooting up on your deadlift basically means you're lacking strength in your technique, especially in your core, and you basically can't keep your upper body in check and keep your technique in check. And in that case, your legs, which have a very minimal range of motion, so their job's the easiest, your legs basically, you're struggling, your legs just do all the work. Your upper body can't hang. So your legs shoot straight up, they lock out, and then it gives it all to your lower back, and then you usually crane it up with your lower back. Fast motion looks like this.
Side note, that little hunchback going on my lower back, those are my erectors. That's what I'm talking about when I say it looks like my back rounds often, and it's usually just my erectors popping out.
So that's hips shooting up on you. Very common problem. But some of you may get this mixed up with a different kind of problem that doesn't reflect weakness in your technique or core. It just reflects your positioning when you're starting in the lift. So some of you recently in my deadlifting videos have commented saying, Nick, your hips are shooting up, that's an issue, correct it. Which I appreciate you guys looking out for me, of course. Here's the thing, now if I didn't know about the second issue, I might watch that video and I might think the same thing. And then I could practice, pause deadlifts. I could practice strengthening my technique until I'm blue in the face and the issue still wouldn't go away. Some of you may be having the same exact issue, and that's simply starting out of position. So, very simply, when you deadlift, based on the length of your limbs, your legs, your arms, your torso, and how far away you stand from the bar, there's going to be a perfect position that your hips fall into to deadlift. So basically, what you do, obviously start straight body. However far or close to the bar you stand, that's up to you. And then you bend your legs until they hit the bar. That's as much as your legs are bending. You then keep in a straight neutral back, reach down, grab the bar. Wherever your hips land is where your hips are going to want to be for pulling. That is the optimal position for your hips to pull in, right there, based on your body's design. What I tend to do, and some of you may do this too, is I really try, it's a bad habit I gotta break, I try to squat real low into my deadlift at first. I'll usually try to overemphasize the quad work to break through the initial inertia and get the bar launching right up. But what happens when you do that, when you squat too deep into it, is this. So I'll go to set up. I want to be about here based on my design. Of course I have jeans on, so it's a little bit hard to be mobile right now. And then I'm going to squat down real hard and launch it up with my legs. But when I squat down, look what happens. I get lower and I get a little more upright, but my shoulders fall backwards. My shoulders come behind the bar. Now, number one rule of deadlifts, your shoulders should always be in front of the bar. Your rear delt should be about even with the bar, so your shoulders are always in front of the bar. If your shoulders are behind the bar, it's a very discreet, subtle version of basically trying to pick it up like this with it way out in front of you. You can't do it. Your shoulders need to be over the bar for the sake of leverage, balance, all of that to get it up. So when I start here, my shoulders go behind the bar, and when I start lifting, you guys see my body kind of tilt itself into a position where my shoulders are back over the bar again. So I'm going to pull and I'll pivot, whoop, forward, and then it'll lift up. And if you look at my hips, it looks a lot like hips shooting up, but you'll notice my technique stays nice and tight. It's not my legs going up before my upper body. It's simply that I'm out of position, I'm behind the bar. Physics say, for me to start pulling it, my body has to put itself back over the bar, and then it can go up. So, check yourself, film from the side if you need to. Make sure you're not falling behind the bar. This won't be as dangerous injury-wise, but it can definitely cause you to leak some power. So really fast, it looks like this. A little movement right there. So again, just bend your knees till they hit the bar, keep the back neutral, shoulders over the bar, rear delt's about even with the bar, and that is your sweet spot for pulling.